My influencer fiancée kept her Instagram bio as single after our engagement and continued to flirt with her followers. When I confronted her, she tried to gaslight me into thinking I was just being too sensitive. So, I fulfilled her wish to be single, exposed her online, and destroyed her perfect image. A bit about me: I 28 male, have a decent job, small circle of close friends, and I enjoy hiking and gaming on weekends. I've never been big on social media. My Instagram has like 12 posts from the last 3 years, mostly landscapes from hikes or the occasional group photo when someone insists I need to post more. I check Facebook maybe once a week, usually just to see if I've missed any event invites. I guess you could say I'm a bit old school when it comes to digital life. They say hindsight is 20/20, and looking back, the red flags were waving frantically in my face while I stood there admiring the pretty color. Funny how love makes you colorblind to warning signs, huh? I met Olivia at our mutual friend Taylor's birthday party 3 years ago. It was at this trendy rooftop bar downtown, you know, the kind with $18 cocktails and those little string lights that make everyone look better than they actually do. I almost didn't go that night. I'd had a brutal week at work debugging this nightmare project that was supposed to launch the following Monday, but Taylor had been texting me all day insisting I needed to get out of my coding cave and rejoin society. Thank goodness I listened. Olivia was stunning. Not just physically, though yeah, she definitely was, but she had this presence that just pulled everyone into her orbit. Tall, confident, with this infectious laugh that you could hear from across the room. She was wearing this simple black dress that somehow looked better than everyone else's carefully planned outfits. I remember Taylor nudging me and saying, "Close your mouth, you're drooling," and I probably was. I'm usually the awkward guy at parties who finds the host's dog and spends the night petting it in the corner, but something about that night gave me courage. Maybe it was the 2 beers I'd had, or maybe it was the way she kept making eye contact with me across the room. Either way, I eventually worked up the nerve to talk to her when we both ended up at the bar at the same time. "Let me guess," she said before I could even speak, "you're going to order something boring like a beer?" I laughed and ordered a whiskey sour instead, just to prove her wrong. She seemed impressed, or at least amused, which I counted as a win. "I'm Olivia," she said, extending her hand formally like we were at a business meeting instead of a birthday party. "Matt," I replied, taking her hand. "So how do you know Taylor?" Turns out they'd been college roommates, and the conversation just flowed from there. We talked about everything: her marketing degree, my coding job, our shared love of Thai food, our mutual hatred of people who walk slowly in grocery store aisles. Before I knew it, 2 hours had passed, the party was winding down, and I was getting her number. We texted until sunrise that night. Not even exaggerating. I went home around 1 a.m., and we just kept messaging back and forth about anything and everything. I remember falling asleep with my phone in my hand around 5:30 a.m. and waking up to a text from her saying, "Good morning, sleepyhead. Coffee date today?" Our first date stretched into this epic 12-hour adventure across the city. We started at this little coffee shop near my apartment, this hole-in-the-wall place with mismatched furniture and the best cold brew in the city. What was supposed to be a quick coffee turned into brunch, which turned into walking through the park, which turned into checking out this art installation downtown, which turned into dinner, which turned into drinks at a jazz bar. By the end of the date, I felt like I'd known her for years instead of hours. By the end of that month, we were officially together. It was the fastest I'd ever moved in a relationship, but it just felt right, you know? Now, I should probably mention that Olivia was an aspiring fashion influencer with a modest but growing Instagram following, around 15K when we met. Not massive by influencer standards, but definitely more than your average person. She posted daily outfit photos, affiliate links, and the occasional glimpse into her personal life. Her aesthetic was this minimalist, chic vibe that seemed effortless but probably took hours to curate. I didn't mind being featured in her posts. Actually, I was kind of proud to be with her and happy to support her ambitions. The first time I showed up on her feed was about 3 weeks into our relationship, just a casual photo of us at brunch, my arm around her shoulder, both of us laughing at something I can't even remember now. The caption was something like, "Sunday fun day with this one," and it got more likes than her usual posts. I remember feeling weirdly validated by that, which seems silly in retrospect. Her followers seemed to like our relationship content. The comments were always stuff like, "OMG, you guys are so cute together. Where did you find a guy who actually smiles in photos? Couple goals." It was flattering, I'll admit. And Olivia was always quick to respond to these comments with heart emojis or "he's a keeper," which made me feel good. Looking back, I should have paid more attention to the fact that she never used words like boyfriend or partner in these responses. Always vague, open-ended replies that kept her followers guessing about our actual status. My friends had mixed reactions to the Instagram thing. My brother, Jake, was skeptical from day one. He works in digital marketing, so he understood the influencer world better than I did. "Just be careful, bro," he told me over beers one night, about 6 months into my relationship with Olivia. "Some of these Instagram people, the line between their real life and their brand gets really blurry." I dismissed his concerns at the time. "She's not like that," I insisted. "She's actually super normal when the phone's put away." And she was, at first. When we'd go out to dinner, the phone would come out for 1 or 2 photos of the food or our drinks, and then it would disappear for the rest of the meal. We'd have real conversations, laugh about inside jokes, make plans for the future. The Olivia I fell in love with was warm, funny, thoughtful, not just the polished persona I saw on Instagram. Fast forward to 6 months ago. After 2.5 years together, I decided to propose during a weekend trip to the coast. We had rented this cute little cottage overlooking the ocean in Monterey, a place we'd visited on our 6-month anniversary and had special meaning for both of us. Our first night there, we took a walk along the beach just before sunset. The weather was perfect, warm with a slight breeze, the sky turning all those impossible shades of pink and orange. I'd been carrying the ring in my pocket all day, constantly checking to make sure it was still there. My heart was pounding so hard I was sure she could hear it. I wasn't planning some elaborate production, that's not really my style, and I didn't think it was Olivia's either. Just the two of us on an empty beach at sunset, saying the things we felt. We found a quiet spot away from the few other people on the beach, and I told her how much I loved her, how she'd changed my life, how I couldn't imagine my future without her. Then I got down on one knee and asked her to marry me. She said yes immediately, tears streaming down her face as I slid the ring onto her finger. It was perfect. The ring was a vintage oval diamond with small sapphires on either side, something unique that I thought matched her personality. I'd spent months saving for it, researching designs, even sneakily measuring her ring size while she was sleeping. After the initial shock and excitement, she looked around and spotted a couple walking nearby. "Excuse me," she called out, waving them over. "Would you mind taking a few photos of us?" He just proposed. The couple was more than happy to help, taking several shots of us embracing, Olivia showing off the ring, both of us beaming with genuine happiness. At the time, I thought it was sweet that she wanted to capture the moment. Looking back, I should have realized she'd already spotted the perfect backdrop for her Instagram post. The engagement announcement got more likes than anything she'd ever posted, nearly 30K. Her follower count jumped by several thousand overnight. Suddenly, she was fielding partnership offers from bridal boutiques, jewelry stores, and wedding planners, all eager to be part of our journey. Companies were sending her free products, everything from skincare bridal glow packages to lingerie for the honeymoon to sample wedding invitations. Our relationship had always had a public component through her social media, but things shifted after the proposal. The authentic moments became staged. Private conversations became content planning sessions. Everything needed to be documented, filtered, and shared. For example, when we started apartment hunting for a bigger place, we'd been living in my one-bedroom downtown, each viewing became a photo opportunity. "Can you stand by that window? The light is perfect." Or "Wait, let me get a shot of us holding the keys." Before we could truly experience the joy of finding our potential new home, it had to be optimized for content. Even our dinner conversations changed. The wedding venue post got twice as much engagement as the ring close-up. Maybe we should do more venue tours for content, even if we've already decided on the beach? Or the wedding dress brand reached out for a collab, "They'll give me 3 dresses for free if I post about the selection process." Still, I adjusted. This was her career, after all. If posting about wedding planning and engagement bliss helped her build her platform, I was on board. She was happy, her career was taking off, and we were planning our future together. That's what mattered, right? Until I noticed something peculiar about a month ago. Her Instagram bio still said single. I was scrolling through her profile one night, looking at a new post she'd shared of us at a cake tasting appointment. The post itself was sweet, a photo of me feeding her a bite of chocolate ganache, both of us laughing. But when my eyes drifted up to her bio, I saw it. Olivia Chen, 27, fashion and lifestyle, NYC, single. At first, I thought it was an oversight. People get busy, forget to update things. When I pointed it out, I expected her to laugh it off and change it immediately. "Oh," she said, barely looking up from her phone as she scrolled through comments on her latest post. "Yeah, I know." I paused, confused. "You know?" Still not looking up. "So, are you going to change it? We've been engaged for 5 months." She sighed. The kind of sigh you give a child asking too many questions. "It's not a big deal. The single thing is part of my brand. My followers respond to it." I sat with that for a moment. "But you're not single. You're engaged to me. It feels weird that you're still presenting yourself as single online." "You're being too sensitive," she said, finally looking up at me with that expression she gets when she thinks I'm being ridiculous. "Relax. It gets me more likes. Guys are more likely to engage with content if they think they have a chance." "Have a chance? With my fiancée?" I asked, trying to keep my tone light despite the knot forming in my stomach. "It's not like I'm actually entertaining other options," she said, already returning her attention to her phone. "It's just social media strategy. It's not real life." But it felt real to me. The thought of Olivia deliberately misleading her followers, encouraging other men to engage with her content by dangling the possibility she was available, made me deeply uncomfortable. It wasn't jealousy, at least, I don't think it was. It was about honesty, about respect, about whether our engagement meant the same thing to both of us. That night, I had trouble sleeping. I kept thinking about all the comments I'd seen on her posts over the months. Things like "You're stunning, are you seeing anyone?" Or "If you're ever in Chicago, I'd love to take you out." She always responded to these with flirty, non-committal replies. "You're too sweet." Or "Chicago is on my travel list." Never once did she mention being in a relationship, let alone engaged. I scrolled back through months of her content on my phone while she slept beside me. In every photo where the ring was visible, she'd positioned her hand in a way that didn't draw attention to it. In captions, she referred to me as my photographer, my travel buddy, or simply him. Never my fiancé. I tried bringing it up again a week later, after giving myself time to process. We were making dinner together in our apartment, or rather, I was making dinner, my mom's lasagna recipe that Olivia loves, while she set up a ring light to capture the cooking together content. Once she got the shots she wanted, she started editing them on the couch while I actually finished preparing the meal. "Hey, I've been thinking about the bio thing," I said casually, layering noodles into the baking dish. "It's still bothering me. I understand this is your job, but it feels like you're hiding our relationship." Her reaction was worse than the first time. "Why are you so insecure?" she snapped, looking up from her phone with obvious irritation. "This is literally my job. Do you want me to sacrifice my engagement rate because you're feeling territorial?" "It's not about being territorial. It's not like I'm hiding you," she continued, cutting me off. "I post about you all the time. You're in, like, half my content." That was true. I appeared regularly in her photos and videos. The boyfriend in her captions, despite the ring clearly visible on her finger in many photos. Her followers would comment things like, "Girl, lock him down. And when's he gonna put a ring on it?" And she'd respond with coy comments like, "A girl can dream or we'll see what the future holds," never correcting them, never acknowledging we were already engaged. "I just don't understand why you can't be honest about our relationship," I said. "Why is it so important to seem single?" "Because that's what works," she exclaimed, throwing her hands up. "Do you think Emily Ratajkowski posts about her husband all the time? No. The fantasy is part of the appeal. People follow me partly because they can imagine themselves with me. It's marketing 101. So I'm just... What? An accessory? A prop in your photos?" "Now you're just being dramatic," she said, rolling her eyes. "You know what, I'm not hungry anymore. I'm going to go edit in the bedroom." She left me standing alone in the kitchen, the half-assembled lasagna in front of me. I finished making it anyway, ate a small portion by myself, and put the rest in the fridge. Later that night, around 11 p.m., I noticed she'd snuck into the kitchen and taken some, leaving her plate in the sink for me to wash, naturally. It bothered me, but I tried to see it from her perspective. Social media was how she made her living. Maybe I was being old-fashioned. Maybe this was just how the influencer world worked. I tried to let it go, to accept that online Olivia and real-life Olivia were different personas, and I only needed to worry about the real one. But the line between those personas seemed to be blurring more every day. Then came last weekend. We were at a rooftop bar celebrating my friend Ryan's promotion. He'd finally made partner at his law firm after years of grueling work, and about 15 of us had gathered to celebrate. The venue was one of those pretentious places where the cocktails have smoke bubbles and edible flowers, but the view of the city skyline at night was admittedly spectacular. Olivia was taking photos of everything, the drinks, the skyline, the group. Standard procedure. I was having a great conversation with Ryan about his new position when I noticed Olivia was typing more than usual. She'd been quiet all night, not really engaging with my friends, most of whom she'd met multiple times, and it was starting to annoy me. I glanced over just as she was responding to a DM from someone named Brandon. "Brandon, when are you finally going to let me take you out? I promise it'll be worth your while. Olivia, maybe someday. Life's complicated right now, but never say never." She noticed me reading over her shoulder and quickly locked her phone. "Who's Brandon?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady despite the sudden tightness in my chest. "Just a follower," she said dismissively, dropping her phone into her purse. "He comments on everything I post." "And you tell him never say never about going out with him?" She rolled her eyes. "It's called engagement, babe. I'm keeping the conversation going. It's harmless." "It doesn't feel harmless to me," I said quietly, aware of our friends nearby. "It feels like you're leading him on. Does he know you're engaged? Can we not do this here?" she hissed, glancing around. "You're making a scene over nothing." I looked around. No one was paying attention to us, they were all laughing at some story Ryan was telling. But I dropped it anyway. We finished the night in tense silence. Olivia pointedly chatting with everyone but me nursing a whiskey and trying not to let my thoughts spiral. On the Uber ride home, I tried again. "I just don't understand why you'd encourage some guy to think he has a chance with you," I said, keeping my voice low so the driver couldn't hear. "We're getting married in 8 months. "Oh my gosh," she groaned, staring out the window. "It's not that serious. It's just how you keep followers interested. You don't actually give them what they want. You just make them think they might get it someday. So you're using the possibility of dating you to keep men following you, even though you're not available?" "Everyone does it," she insisted. "It's basically industry standard. Why are you being such a baby about this?" A baby? Too sensitive. Insecure. Territorial. The pattern was clear, and something inside me finally snapped. "You know what? You're right. It's not a big deal, I said, suddenly calm. She looked surprised, then relieved. Exactly. I'm glad you're finally seeing reason. The rest of the ride home was silent, but the tension had shifted. For the first time in weeks, I felt clarity instead of confusion. By the time we reached our apartment, I knew what I needed to do. The next morning, I made breakfast as usual, avocado toast and cold brew for her, scrambled eggs for me. I kissed her goodbye as she left for a photo shoot with some sustainable jewelry brand. Then I sat down with my phone and opened Instagram for the first time in weeks. I'm not big on social media. My account was mostly dormant. A few photos from trips, the occasional milestone. The last thing I'd posted was 8 months ago, a sunset from our balcony that got maybe 30 likes. I navigated to the photos Olivia had tagged me in and found one of our engagement photos. It was a beautiful shot, Olivia looking radiant, the ring prominently displayed, both of us beaming with genuine happiness. The stranger on the beach had actually done a great job. I downloaded it, then posted it to my own account with a simple caption. After much reflection, she's single now. Wish her well on her journey. Then I turned off notifications, logged out of the app, and went for a long drive along the coast. I needed space to think, to breathe, to process the decision I just made very publicly. I ended up at this little seaside diner about an hour outside the city, a place my dad used to take me when I was a kid. I ordered coffee and blueberry pancakes, then sat staring out at the waves, feeling strangely calm. I hadn't planned to break up with Olivia this way. In fact, I hadn't consciously planned to break up with her at all. But as I sat there watching the tide come in, I realized I'd been building to this moment for weeks. Our relationship had become a performance, and I was tired of being an unpaid actor in her social media production. I deserved someone who valued our connection more than their content calendar. Someone who was proud to be with me, not just when it generated likes, but all the time. I spent hours at that diner, nursing cup after cup of coffee, watching families play on the beach and couples walking hand in hand along the shore. I thought about calling my brother but decided against it. This was something I needed to process on my own first. By the time I started the drive back to the city, the sun was setting. I felt lighter somehow, despite knowing the storm that was likely waiting for me. When I returned home 6 hours later, Olivia's things were gone. Not all of them. We'd been living together for nearly 2 years, so she had accumulated a lot, but her essential items had vanished. Clothes, makeup, laptop, the framed photo of her grandmother she kept on the nightstand. In their place was a tornado of missed communications. 83 missed calls, 107 text messages, dozens of voicemails. I sat on the edge of our bed, my bed now, I supposed, and started scrolling through them. From Olivia, what the actual bleep? Call me right now. You can't break up with me on Instagram. Answer your phone. I'm serious. This isn't funny. My comments are blowing up. Fix this now. I can't believe you would humiliate me like this. From mutual friends, dude, what's going on? Olivia's freaking out. Are you okay? This seems out of character for you. Did your account get hacked? From Olivia's sister, I get it, but maybe this wasn't the best way to handle things. From my brother, finally. She never deserved you. Call me when you can. I scrolled through the messages, then checked Instagram. My post had somehow caught fire within our extended social circle and then beyond. Not truly viral by internet standards, but certainly more attention than my account had ever received. Nearly 5,000 likes, hundreds of comments. The algorithm had apparently pushed it to people who followed Olivia, then to their followers, creating a ripple effect of interest. Some supporting me, good for you, man. Know your worth. Some calling me petty, wow, real mature breaking up on social media. Many asking for details, wait, what happened? I need the tea. Olivia had already posted a teary-eyed selfie with a lengthy caption about how sometimes people reveal who they truly are and how she was blindsided by my immature and vindictive behavior. The victim narrative was in full swing. What she couldn't control were the comments on her post. People were flooding her page with screenshots of her single bio, asking if it was true she'd been misleading her followers about her relationship status. Others were tagging men who'd been actively flirting in her comments for months, asking if they knew she'd been engaged the whole time. The empire of half-truths she'd built was crumbling under the weight of reality. I didn't engage with any of it. Instead, I texted her once. I've been trying to talk to you about this for weeks. You called me too sensitive, insecure, a baby. I simply took you at your word. You said presenting as single was important for your brand. Now you truly are single, so there's no more conflict. I'll have the rest of my things out by tomorrow. You can keep the apartment for now since I already paid this month's rent. I wish you the best with your content strategy. Then I blocked her number and checked into a hotel. I'd actually been preparing for this possibility for a couple of weeks. After our first major argument about her single bio, I'd quietly started looking at month-to-month rentals, sensing our relationship was heading toward an impasse. I'd found a place the previous week but hadn't signed the paperwork yet, hoping we could still work things out. The morning after my Instagram post, I called the property manager and finalized the arrangement, able to move in immediately. It wasn't much, a studio in an older building across town, but it was clean, affordable, and most importantly, mine. The next day, I enlisted my brother to help me move my essential belongings out of my apartment. Though the lease was in my name, I couldn't bear to stay there with all the memories. We rented a small U-Haul and made 3 trips, gathering my clothes, books, gaming setup, and the few pieces of furniture that had been mine before Olivia moved in. Olivia was nowhere to be found during the move, probably staying with friends, crafting her next content strategy around being the wounded party in a public breakup. It's been 2 weeks now. My post and subsequent disappearance from social media apparently generated enough interest that Olivia gained another 10K followers. She's pivoted her content to focus on healing after betrayal and signs your partner isn't who you thought they were. The engagement ring is gone from her photos, replaced by crystal healing sessions and journaling spreads. Her bio still says single, but now it's accurate. I've received a few emails from her. I'd forgotten to block her email address in the chaos of everything else. They've evolved from furious to pleading to philosophical. The latest one included this line: I see now that I was taking you for granted, that I was treating our relationship as content rather than a commitment. Too little, too late. I've done a lot of reflecting these past 2 weeks. Could I have handled things differently? Probably. Breaking up via Instagram wasn't my proudest moment, but after months of having my concerns dismissed, of being told I was too sensitive for wanting my fiancée to acknowledge our engagement publicly, something just broke inside me. Some mutual friends have fallen away, seeing me as the villain in this story. Others have reached out privately to say they'd noticed Olivia's behavior too but hadn't wanted to get involved. My brother, always skeptical of Olivia's authenticity, has been my rock through all of this, helping me set up my new place and dragging me out for beers when I start to spiral. Yesterday, I deleted my Instagram account entirely. I don't need or want that window into Olivia's world anymore. The algorithms kept showing me her content despite my efforts to avoid it. Each post a fresh twist of the knife as she rewrote our history for public consumption. The ring I saved for months to buy is currently sitting in a safe deposit box. I'll sell it eventually, once the emotions aren't so raw. For now, it's a reminder that some things should remain private, sacred, real. As for Olivia, I wish her well with her growing platform. I hope the likes and engagement are worth it. I hope the followers who think they have a chance with her bring her the validation she couldn't get from someone who actually loved her. Because that's what this all comes down to, isn't it? What's real and what's performance? What matters and what doesn't? I wanted a partner who valued our relationship more than her online persona. She wanted an audience more than she wanted me. In the end, we both got what we wanted. She's free to be single without any pesky reality contradicting her brand, and I'm free to find someone who doesn't think my feelings are an inconvenience to their social media strategy. Edit: I didn't expect this post to get so much attention. To those asking if she's reached out since, yes. But I'm maintaining the boundaries I've set. To those saying I was petty for the public breakup, you're probably right, but sometimes petty feels a lot like self-respect when you've been gaslit for months. Edit 2. For those wondering about the living situation, the apartment was mine originally. She moved in with me about a year into our relationship, but her name was never on the lease. I've since moved out anyway because the place has too many memories. Edit 3. Several people have asked if I think social media ruined our relationship. No, I don't. Social media just revealed who she already was, the person prioritizing likes over honesty, engagement over respect. That was always her. I just didn't want to see it. Final update: it's been a month now. I'm doing better than expected. Started therapy to process everything and make sure I don't carry this baggage into future relationships. Olivia has apparently rebranded as a breakup recovery coach and is selling a course on turning heartbreak into opportunity. At least she's consistent. Thanks for all the support, Reddit. It's been therapeutic to share this story and hear I'm not crazy for feeling the way I did. Sometimes you need internet strangers to confirm what your gut has been telling you all along.